Hey guys, so I test a lot of headphones and earbuds on this channel. It's kind of my job, and honestly, very few actually make me stop and think, hang on, this feels a bit different. So when Baseus reached out and said they'd licensed Sound by Bose, yes, that Bose, on a new lineup of audio products, I didn't really know what to expect because Baseus, they're the people behind some of my favorite chargers and hubs, practical stuff, you know, but now they're taking on audio, and with Bose involved, I had to see if this actually lives up to the name, because if you've watched my channel for a while now, you know I care about audio. I'm not going to pretend to be some kind of audiophile, but I do want quality both in sound and suppression. So when a brand claims to reinvent everyday audio, I'm skeptical, but a collaboration like this, Baseus Inspire and Sound by Bose, that actually got my attention. I've used Bose gear for years, and I think we can all agree that their sound signature is pretty iconic. So I wanted to see if that Bose DNA really made it into these cans. Let's ramble.
Hold up, place go wild when I pull up. They all on me like it wants.
So Baseus stands for Base on User. Over 300 million people use their products in 100 countries, so they're not new. They've built thousands of patents, mostly in charging and accessories, but this is their first real step into premium audio. And they didn't do it alone. Every model in the Inspire series was acoustically engineered with Sound by Bose, bringing Bose's audio precision to Baseus's clean and practical design. So let's start with the star of the show, the XH1 headphones. Now, if you only take one thing from this video, let it be this. These do not feel like a first try product. They honestly feel like a multiple generation, pretty refined product, and that is not easy to do when you're new in a space, especially one as competitive as the audio space. You've got hybrid active noise cancellation, transparency mode, and up to 100 hours of battery life, or about 65 hours with ANC turned on. That's basically a full week of listening without having to plug in. And if you somehow do manage to run out of juice, a quick 10-minute charge gives you another 12 hours of playback. But of course, what matters most is not the spec sheet or the battery life, it's the sound. And that's where the Bose technology kicks in. These are Sound by Bose, and you can hear it straight away. The XH1s feature Bose's signature premium tuning, plus support for high-res audio, LDAC for up to 3 times the detail of standard Bluetooth, and Dolby spatial audio for that immersive 360-degree sound. It's rich, wide, and lifelike, instruments have space, vocals feel pretty close, and the bass sits exactly where it should be. That's because Baseus also tuned their XH1 with their new Super Bass 3.0 and Super Balance 3.0 profiles. Angle drivers and optimized acoustic chambers that bring deep bass and balanced mids together. Add in that SoundFit hearing personalization through the Baseus app, and you got a sound signature that compensates any kind of hearing loss. And then there's the premium adaptive ANC, a 4-layer hybrid system Baseus claims analyzes your surroundings nearly 400,000 times per second, cutting ambient noise by up to 48 decibels. Now, all of that sounds impressive, but all I really care about is how it does on flights, train commutes, or just zoning out at the office. And it does a great job at removing the noise and the hums without dulling the music. Now, number 3 in my must-have features for good headphones is comfort. And comfort-wise, they really nailed it. Baseus calls it velvet-like cloud comfort. It's a nice marketing term, but it's pretty accurate. The ear cups are wrapped in this soft protein leather, padded with memory foam that molds around your ears. They're ergonomic, they're balanced, and I could easily wear them for several hours without them getting sweaty or bothering me. I also love that these don't clamp down on my head, because it always hurts my jaw, and some headphones do that. I really don't like that, and these don't, so that's a good thing. I've used them on long train rides and during all-night editing sessions without any ear fatigue. So design-wise, it's everything I love about good industrial design. There's a clean matte finish, and it's just this crisp, functional design that I'm used to from Baseus. It's almost Apple-esque, that no fuss feeling, you know? And if you take a lot of calls, the XH1 have a 5-mic all-clear call system with ANC noise reduction, which means your voice stays clear even in busy cafes or in traffic. It almost sounds like there's no traffic at all. There's also an app for fine-tuning your EQ, ANC levels, and sound presets, which by the way is still painfully absent from Apple's Airpods Max, and firmware updates also come in through the app. If you took the XH1 part away from this collaboration, you'd still have a great pair of headphones, but the Sound by Bose partnership takes them from pretty good to actually impressive. And to be honest, they feel a lot more like established players and not like newcomers. Next up are these XC1 open ear headphones, probably the most unique of the bunch. Instead of sealing off your ear, they rest outside of the canal, so you can still hear traffic, conversations, the world around you. And once again, that Sound by Bose tuning also shows up in these bad boys. They even support high-res wireless, LDAC, and Dolby Spatial Audio for immersive 360-degree listening that feels a lot bigger than you would expect from an open design. Inside, Baseus built what they call a hybrid two-way sound design. A dynamic woofer for deep bass paired with a Knowles balanced armature tweeter for very clean mids and highs. Add in that Super Bass 3.0 and Super Balance 3.0 I was talking about earlier, and the XC1 deliver a full high-fidelity experience that sounds pretty well balanced. Comfort-wise, these use Zero Sense ear cushions, which is just a fancy way of saying you'll forget they're even there. It took a bit of getting used to for me personally because of how they sit on the ear, but once you get used to that, it actually feels pretty natural. The curved adaptive fit with a flexible ring joint and silicone tips make them perfect for long runs, gym sessions, or daily wear without irritation. They also handle calls better than I expected, with that 4-mic all-clear call system, wind noise reduction, and smart voice pickup. The person on the other side can hear you just fine, even if you're doing stuff like cycling, walking through a crowd, or talking when it's a bit windy. Battery life is solid too, 8 hours on a single charge and up to 40 hours when you're using the charging case. And if you're ever in a rush, a quick 10-minute top up gives you another 2.5 hours of listening. And finally, these are IP66 rated, which means rain, sweat, and even dust is not a problem. But I think the main feature here, and what I actually enjoyed much more than I thought I would, is that you are fully aware of the world around you, but the music still feels present, full, and warm. It doesn't sound like it's happening outside of the ear at all. I don't know how they do it, but it sounds great. The thing is though, I don't really think they're trying to compete with the XH1 or XP1 that I will talk about later. I think these actually serve a completely different lifestyle, and if you don't like the feeling of being isolated by your earbuds or your headphones, I can definitely recommend giving these a try. Finally, we have the XP1s, and these will probably feel most familiar to most of you guys and to myself for that matter. They're smaller, they're lighter, and they're built for daily movement. They carry the same Sound by Bose acoustic signature as the XH1, which means you still get that rich, balanced sound, just in a much smaller form factor. And these also feature Dolby Spatial Audio for immersive 360 listening. I'm a big fan of spatial audio on my AirPods, as some of you will know, and Base's take on this is right up there. They capture those tiny production details that a lot of other earbuds I've tried don't seem to fully do, and that's also what I really like about the Airpods Max and the Airpods Pro, but these really manage to do that. And for a first try, I have to say they're right up there. And that to me is very impressive. The personalized adaptive ANC system is smart. It doesn't just turn noise cancellation on or off, but it dynamically adapts to your surroundings up to -50 decibels, finding that perfect balance between silence and comfort, whether you're on a train or in a cafe or walking through the city. And these also have those dual layer diaphragms combined with Super Bass 3.0 and Super Balance 3.0 tuning. Translation, you get powerful low end when you need it without losing that sparkle in the mids and highs. The fit is also worth mentioning. Baseus claims they did thousands of ergonomic simulations to get this right, and I believe them because they're actually really comfortable. The in-ear design mirrors your ear's natural shape, while these umbrella-shaped silicone tips make sure everything is sealed and stays where it is, without really feeling tight, by the way. Now, if you like to take your calls on the go like I do, these actually feature a 6-mic all-clear call system. 2 more mics even than the XC1s with wind and noise suppression. Conversations sound natural even in loud environments. I've taken calls with these while walking in traffic, and people on the other side could barely tell I wasn't indoors. And the battery life has been great so far. You get 8 hours per charge and up to 45 hours with the case. And if you're low on power, just like the other ones, a quick 10-minute top up will give you another 2.5 hours of playback. These are the ones I've been reaching for when I'm bouncing between devices, and because of what they call multi-point Bluetooth, switching from my laptop to my phone is a seamless experience. These are your everyday carry for calls, coffee runs, and editing on the go. If the XH ones are about full immersion, the XP ones are about flexibility for me. Compact, practical, with great sound. Look, it's really easy to be cynical about these collabs in the tech space. A lot of times it's just marketing, but that is clearly not the case here. Bass has brought their usual simplicity, their no-nonsense approach, and Bose brought decades of audio expertise, and honestly, I think it was a very clever move for a company breaking into a new space. So here's how it all fits together. The XH1's, the flagship, that's your all-day, all-purpose, immersive experience. The XC1's, your open, outdoor option when you want to stay connected to the world as much as you can while still experiencing premium audio. The XP1's, your daily companion for calls and commuting, your run and gun pair if you will, ideal for switching between tasks. If you want to check them out for yourself, there will be links to all three, the XH1's, the XC1's, and the XP1's down below in the description. And if you've never given Baseus a look beyond their chargers, maybe this is the right time. I have a feeling you might be pleasantly surprised. Guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it one of these. And if you didn't like it, just hit dislike twice. See you in the next one.